Yeah, I mean, heck of a college basketball game. Those are the ones that are tough to sit on, and you're going to lose a lot of sleep over those. But I give our guys a lot of credit coming back. UCLA, when you get down in a 12, 15 point hole against them, it's really hard to come back. Like, as good as they are defensively and disciplined, and I give our guys a lot of credit for coming back and making some big shots and some big plays, getting the ball to the rim and giving ourselves a chance to have a shot to win it at the end. But, it comes down to little things. I thought we played hard, except for there was probably a 3-minute span in the second half where I thought they really turned up the energy and they went on a little bit of run and created that lead. And then playing smart, like 15 turnovers against UCLA, you can't do that. You're not going to beat a Mick Cronin coach team, if you have 15 turnovers. And they scored 20 points off those turnovers. And, that was the difference in the game. That and a couple defensive rebounds that we didn't come up with, was the difference. I thought, they did a good job going to their zone, which they don't go to very much. I thought we were playing really well offensively early. They went to the zone, and we just got stagnant. And, we've been a pretty good zone team so far this year, but for whatever reason, we had no ball movement, no body movement. And, even out of timeouts, we'd be drawing stuff up, and we'd come out and just stand. And so it's something we got to get better at. But like I said, give UCLA credit. I thought I thought Sky Clark was tremendous, especially in the first half. We had basically, they made 6 threes in the first half, and all 6 of them were bad closeouts on our part. Closing out short to guys that can really shoot it, and especially when Sky got hot. And then in the second half, I thought it was just pretty much, Bilodeau, I thought, did a really good job when Hanos got into foul trouble, and they kind of went at him, where they knew he couldn't foul. And Bilodeau made some tough shots, but that's why he's one of the best post players in this league. And then Donovan Den, I thought, was tremendous in the second half. It seemed like they didn't miss very many, and whether it was floaters that would kind of roll around the rim, it seemed like there was like 5 or 6 of those they went in for him tonight, and we just came up a little short.
Hey, just after he misses the previous 3 games, just what do you make of Hanos' big night? I think he was like 9 for 9 on this, and just couldn't miss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 11 to 12 for the game. Like, it's who he is. He's a great player. He's a great player. I thought early on he was too unselfish. Even when they went to the zone, he was catching it and spraying it out to guys for shots where he wasn't looking at the rim and going. And once he started attacking and we were able to get the ball to the high post to him, that's when we started scoring some baskets. But he's just a damn good basketball player, and you could see how much we've missed him the last 3 games. Not just his like I've said before, his IQ and passing ability is elite. Yeah, he was 11 for 12, but just the way he makes teams defend us and changes everything and gets everybody shots is why he's one of the best players in the country. And but he, rebounding wise, he's tremendous. Our other guys, like, we got to up the ante rebounding. Our guards got to get in there and start rebounding. We can't just have him getting 40% of our rebounds every game. Like, our guards we got to get tougher, and we got to get down there and rebound and somehow find a way to come up with basketballs. I'll give Frank credit too. Like, the last 3 games, both in Palm Springs and tonight, I thought he really rebounded the ball well. But now we got to get everybody else rebounding.
And then to have a game like this, you guys were down 16 with about 5 minutes left, and this game is decided on that last shot. How close are you to getting that first big signature win?
Not close enough. We're 2 seconds away. But like I said, it comes down to, like, we just shot ourselves in the foot, and you're not going to beat these elite teams when you do that. When you have 15 turnovers, the second half we had 2 front ends that we missed, that just compounded. It couldn't stop runs. We had some careless turnovers in the second half where that's when they built their lead. And you can't do that, against elite teams. You can't do it against anybody, and that's the good thing is like, we're not even close to playing our best basketball. Our guys are still learning each other. We've had funky lineups, and like I said, I'll give our guys credit for coming and competing tonight and almost pulling it off, but almost isn't good enough.
Some of those self-inflicted wounds that you're talking about going down to USC in a couple of days now, how do you fix those things in time for that game?
Yeah, just being sharper with our decisions, like not trying to hit the home run, like just hit the first open guy. And I thought we tried to kind of squeeze in some passes to the high post or get the ball to Hanos or our post guys, and instead of just moving it and then let them throw it in. like almost getting the hockey assist. Like, you don't always have to get the assist. Move the ball to let you get the hockey assist. That stuff we got to correct because USC's playing tremendous right now.
And then what do you make of just the 3-point shooting that you've seen over the last couple of weeks now? It feels like it's starting to go in the right direction.
Yeah, it is. And I thought we had some really good looks, that didn't fall. But like I said, I'm really comfortable with all these guys shooting, whether it's JJ, Zoom, West, Kamari, Dez, like any of those guys, when they have their feet set and the ball's moving, I feel comfortable with all of them.
Desmond, his first game back, he had a great night. Tonight, he just looked all kinds of out of sort. Did he have a little bit of a setback?
No, he hasn't. He just, it's, when you're out for 6 weeks, it's hard to get that rhythm back, and somehow he's got to find a way to get it back because at times he's got it, and, he's just got to get comfortable playing and, having the contact and being comfortable out there because we know what kind of player he is, and we're just waiting for him to show that to everybody.
Did you have any limitations on Hanos tonight? I think when Desmond came back, you said you avoided eye contact with your trainer. How about tonight?
No, and like I said, like Hanos, he only took 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks, and he sprained his ankle pretty bad, but he didn't have any limitations. He's been trying to play for a while. We've actually had to hold him out, from playing, but that's just what kind of competitor he is.
You touched on the games that Clark and Bilodeau had. Just for you, when you're trying to scheme defensively, just what kind of challenge does that present? The fact that you have Clark having the night he did from beyond the arc, but you also have Bilodeau kind of scoring at all 3 levels, or at the very least, like taking shot attempts at all 3 levels like that with Hanos in foul trouble too.
Yeah, and that's why they're an elite team. They got elite players, and that's not even mentioning like Donovan Dent, who orchestrates all of it. And he's so hard to guard in ball screens. And I thought we did a pretty good job for most of the night because I know what Donovan's capable of. And he's capable of dominating any game he plays in. And he does control stuff, and he finds guys. I thought he did a really good job, finding guys and, especially in the second half, getting his own shot. But also he gets Bilodeau open because he's such a threat off ball screens. Like, you have to have 2 guys on the ball until he throws it. And that's how those guys were getting open.
You guys got within 1 point there in the last minute. Did you guys think about extending the game at all with a foul, or did you just want to play it out?
Are you talking with 30? Where it was like 30, or
It
there
was like
36 seconds?
Yeah.
No, because I trusted us to get a stop. Like, I wanted to challenge our team to get a stop, and obviously, we just had a foul. Instead of he just caught him, on the wrist there, which was probably the worst possible thing because it was a 3-point attempt, But we got them to shoot it early in the possession. I think they shot it with 14 and a half seconds left instead of bleeding it all the way down. But we knew even if they bled down, we still have 7-8 seconds. Even if they made a shot, and hopefully it would be a 2, it would still be a 3-point game to try and get the ball up the court quick.
It was kind of hard there the last play, trying to get a play created because you didn't have any timeouts. Did you guys practice that at the end of game situation with a missed free throw?
Yeah, and that was the best shot we could get. I thought Hanos did a great job getting into our guards. Everybody was sprinting the lanes. We had it spread out, and that's the best shot you can get at that point. I think there was 5-6 seconds left. By the time you get the rebound and kick it and bring it up,
And you touched on it earlier. SC on Saturday said that they're playing well. Just maybe specifically, I don't know how much you've kind of seen them, but what things are they doing well, sort of, in this stretch here? They're undefeated.
They're undefeated, yeah.
And what do you think this game is going to be like for Desmond and Wes?
Yeah, I mean, it'll be emotional for them. It will. But it is what it is. Like, you see it all over the country now with kids playing against their former teams and all that. But like I said, we got to worry about ourselves. USC's good enough right now. Coach Musselman's got them rolling, and they're playing tremendous right now. They're playing fast. They're athletic. They put a lot of pressure on you at the rim. Chad Baker-Mazar is arguably playing as well as anybody in the country right now. And so, they're playing, like I said, they're undefeated for a reason. And, they're playing like a Coach Musk coach team. Like, they're playing fast. they're playing free, like they're playing together. We got our work cut out for us on Saturday.
Anything else for Coach?
You bet. Thanks.